Hey guys, how's it going? Marcelo here, and welcome to a new segment of the channel called Marc's First Impressions. So, this game is awesome. I've been waiting for this game since it was announced, and it's amazing. I had just finished beating, like a week before getting the reboot, I just finished Ratchet and Clank on the PS, that's reflective, on the PS2. And then I pre-ordered the game back in February, and I had just gotten it. Not to date the video, but I got it day one, so, you know, April 12th. It's amazing. I freaking love it. So, what exactly do I love about this game? Well, we're going to get into that right now. We've got 5 points I want to go over. Not to just gush over and over and over and over and interconnect everything without any cuts. We're going to have to do cuts because there's so much to talk about. So here we go. Number one, this game looks fucking amazing on the PS4. It looks so goddamn beautiful. This is exactly what it means to take full advantage of the PS4 system. It looks incredible. It's really detailed, really awesome. The effects are amazing. The lighting and shading is awesome. It just feels really atmospheric. It feels very detailed. It feels like you're in this world. Not that it didn't on the PS2, but on the PS4 it really shows. With the depth and everything, it's amazing. So, I don't even know, to see Ratchet and Clank and, you know, 1080p full detail, you know, HD awesomeness, it's cool. So there's not a whole lot to say about this one point. It's just that to see like the planets that you knew and that some of you have probably grown up with look all HDified and look just super detailed and just way honestly better than it did on the PS2, it's pretty cool. So that's all I have to say about that. The structure in this game is very similar to the original game in terms of the planets, the structure of the planets. The plot even has a kind of similar structure. A lot of the characters you meet along the way are pretty similar, and actually some of them poke fun at the fact that this is a reboot, so I'll get into that later. But it's really cool how it feels familiar, but there are new things in this game. And those new features and those new like segments that you get to play feel good. And the fluidity is like really good, which I'll get into again in a little bit. But like, for example, a new feature. Instead of just watching Clank escape the factory and crash onto Veldin, in a cutscene you get to play as Clank and escape the factory yourself. So that's really cool. And another new segment that was really neat was there's this, I don't know what you would call it, like term-wise, but I guess it's this kind of bridging segment between getting off of, oh god, I forgot the name of the first planet that you visit, but there and, it's not Novalis, is it? It might be, but I don't remember. The first planet you visit before Veldin, or after Veldin, and Kerwan, Metropolis. There's a bridging segment in between those two planets from when you travel, and when you get to Metropolis you're in the ship and you have to strike down this bigger ship, and that's really cool. Even before you strike down the bigger ship you have to take out these smaller ships and then use these robot guys shooting at you, pick them up with this magnetic like device on your ship, and then blast them off at as projectiles at the, as I was saying, sorry if you could hear that was my cat scratching in the background. You take all the enemies and then you blast them off as projectiles to the bigger ship and you destroy it that way. So that's actually really cool. Point being though that these new segments in the game don't feel like they just come out of nowhere. Like, we need to throw something at you that wasn't from the original game, so here's a thing. It didn't feel like that. It felt really nice and again, fluid. So that's really neat. And the controls, oh my god, the controls feel so good. Again, speaking of fluidity, once more, these controls feel amazing. One little, it's not so much of a nitpick, it's well, kind of is. I don't have an issue with it. I never had an issue with it, really, but Ratchet's double jump in the original game is comparable to Sly Cooper's jump in the first Sly Cooper game. The double jump itself isn't so much of it's more of a distance kind of thing, like you just get more airtime than an actual, or no, wait, it's, you get more airtime out of it, but it's not so much as a distance thing. Like, you don't go up that much higher when you double jump in the original game. In this game you do though, and it feels really good. Also, one other thing I wanted to mention was the mid-air like slam down with the wrench. In the original game, it was pretty slow, but it was effective, but kind of slow. In this game, oh, it's quick. It's really quick. You just jump up and go, bah! And it's that fast. So whether you're double jumping, single jumping, and then doing the attack, it's fast, it's fluid, it feels really good to control. Even Clank himself feels good to control. I thought, like, boom, once they had us play as Clank, I was like, okay, so I'm expecting some clunkiness from Clank, and, you know, thinking a little bit more of the original controls from the first game and all that. Not so much. I mean, he does feel a little bit slower than Ratchet because he is a smaller dude, but they gave Clank a double jump, so that's awesome. And those segments in general, from what I've played from Clank so far, feel really good, and they are different from the original game. I'm not sure if they're gonna have you like control the little bots again, like you could in the original, but you take these other robots that can actually have different functions. You have to choose them in the circular little menu, like the way you do with Ratchet's weapons, and then you can use like them for bridges. You can use them to power doors and other technical things and such. And then you get to use them for springs, so you can jump on top of them like a little spring. It's pretty cool. It's really nice. And again, just the controls in general, very fluid. Using the switching between the weapons because they redid the little circular menu. I think that's one actual little critique I have with this new game. Whereas when you hold down triangle in the original and you've got your little wheel of weapons to choose from, and you are choosing, you can press like, if it's on the top, like it's the little highlighted icon is on the top for the top weapon. You have to press like left twice or something, or the way you're seeing it, left twice, and perspective is weird. So left twice, and then you get to choose the diagonal one, and the one, because it's like an 8 or something. So it's like the top one. Sorry if it's hard to explain. It's a little difficult for me to explain, but like you have to like press up and left together to get the diagonal one in the new game, and that's a little weird because you just have to press left once to go diagonal, and then left again to go to the one fully on the left. So it's hard to explain, it's a little weird, but I kind of wish they kept it the old way. But that's, so if you guys understand what I'm trying to get at, then I don't know if you agree with that or not, but it's a little weird in this game, but nothing too big. So I'm rambling now. Controls are awesome, really, really nice feeling, and it's just really great. Oh, one other thing I forgot to mention, on that aforementioned ship segment in Metropolis, again, small little thing, not much of a nitpick. It would have been if you couldn't invert the controls, because going up, like pressing up made you go up, and then hitting down made you go down. So the controls are like inverted, because ship controls are usually the opposite, where you press down to go up and up to go down. So it's a simple, just, you know, pause the game, switch the controls, that easy. So I was like, oh, these controls are weird when I first played it, and I was like, I don't know if I can get used to this. Maybe, because I was trying, and I was like, I can't really get used to this. Maybe I can change it up in the menu. So I did, and yeah. So it was a small little just thing that I was like, okay, hopefully you can change this, but you can. So yeah, but controls are good. And the self-referential humor is great. Not just the self-referential jokes, but the nice little pieces of detail that they put in that they subtly poke fun at from the original game, which I'll get into in a little bit. Well, okay, so a good example of the one plumber guy from the first planet, he is just chock full of self-referential stuff. Like when you first meet up with him, okay, here's an attention to detail. When you first meet up with this guy in the first game, Ratchet makes a joke to Clank. He's like, hey, look, plumber's crack, because you can see his butt crack. Well, in this game, the shot when the cutscene starts, when you get to him, starts on his butt, but he's wearing like this big metal belt. So it's really funny because he's not showing his crack. So it's a little nice jab at the fact that they made a joke about it in the first game, but this game he covered up. So that's pretty funny. But in terms of self-referential humor, he turns around and he's like, haven't I met you before? And Ratchet's like, I don't think so. So it's pretty funny. And then he just straight up, after he helps Ratchet fix his ship so they can get off the planet, he's like, okay, well, see you in the next reboot. And the face Ratchet gives is like, what? So It's really great. It's really funny. There's also one in the opening cutscene where they tell Captain Court that they're gonna make a film, and he's like, "Wait, they're making a film off my adventures, like with Ratchet and Clank, so off the game." So, and then at one point he was also like, "Oh, well, that sounds great if you like all CG." So the film's all CG. It's really funny. So self-referential. I can't say that right or fast. Self-referential jokes are funny. Are actually pretty funny and not like cringe-worthy. Like, okay, we came to expect that. Actually, I wasn't expecting they were gonna full out make self-referential jokes. So the fact that they actually work is even more surprising. So really good on the writing department. And overall, this is a great platformer. It's funny because I don't know how to feel about this game. I mean, I love it. That's about the game itself. I love it. About the game and everyone's reaction to it. No doubt there's going to be people going, "Oh my god, a modern day 3D platformer that isn't Mario that's doing spectacular? Who would have thought?" It's from Insomniac. They did great platformers back in the day. And we've been, us, the audience of 3D platformers, have been waiting for a game like this that wasn't Mario, that went back to the way platformers used to be. So, this game is a clever blend of, you know it from back then, but it's a modern game, so it looks a little more modern, it plays just a bit more modern, but it did well, so those kinds of people, what the fuck? Don't be saying shit like that. You shouldn't be surprised that it did well. If you knew about these platformers back in the day, then we've been waiting for another platformer in the modern times that played just like they did back then. And this is why we keep saying we need like a new Spyro, we need a new Crash, we need a new... Because look at Ratchet and Clank is awesome. It's spectacular. And with the familiarity there, it being a reboot, I have blazed through a lot of these segments and these planets in the game because the structure is, like I was saying before, the structure is pretty similar, but they do enough different. Did I mention, now I'm getting deja vu. Did I mention this in another video at some point, another discussion video, that I think I did somewhere. I don't know which one it was, but I want to say that somewhere along the line I said about like how to make a game good or how to do whatever. You have to have enough different, like if you want to make something similar to something you made before, i.e. this reboot, keep enough familiarity to where the people who, the veterans of Ratchet and Clank are going to immediately get it, but do enough different to where it feels like it's not just a rehash, it's not just an HD remake, it's a reboot, and it feels like a reboot because the origin story is just a little bit different. New characters are different. I didn't even say that. The new characters that are going to be in the film were integrated good here. It's not like these characters are going to be in the film, go see the film. They actually have some, substance in this game. They're characters, they have personality, and they're good personalities. I don't hate any one character right now. I do hate a few of the enemies. The ones that come back from the first game. Those little guys, the little scorpion-looking, long-necked, crab-like guys. Oh, I fucking hate them. The ones that snap at you when you get too close. I hate those guys. They give me a lot of trouble in the original game, but in this game, not so much. Granted, I had it on casual difficulty. I should probably upgrade to normal, but I digress. This game is amazing, and the characters are fun. Everything is fun so far, and I love this game. And again, I'm not even like a huge Ratchet fan. Like I'm pretty much becoming one now, but it wasn't until I was recommended by one of my friends on Facebook to play Ratchet and Clank, and I was like, okay, and so I did, and it's amazing. So the timing just worked out perfectly to where this game came out, and I was like, I want to get it. So, and the fact that again, it's a platformer in the recent days, the recent times, and it's doing this great, and it's characters that people are familiar with. It's an IP people are familiar with, and it's from a company people know and trust because they make great games. Although I hear Resistance is kind of like hit and miss with some people. It's a first-person shooter. I'm not going to play it, whatever. But, point being, we've been waiting for a game like this from a company we know and love, especially from back in the day with Spyro and all them. So, I don't know. It's just, that's why we need to see more. We need more. I hope that this game serves to keep turning around for this, as an example to all the other, to Naughty Dog, to the Sly Cooper company, you know, who is it, Sucker Punch, if they still own Sly Cooper. Everyone that, you know, Ty did actually have 4 come out on Steam, but more companies that used to do platformers like this back in the day, this right here should serve as the biggest example, the most, because it's out, it's here right now in front of your guys' faces. Not just Yooka-Laylee, which Yooka-Laylee is claiming to be the rebirth of 3D platformers. I feel like this one, since it came out first, is going to lead the way for that. The rebirth of 3D which I'll actually get to. That should be my next video, actually. I did film a rebirth of 3D platformers video a while back, started editing it, never finished, and now, I mentioned Ratchet and Clank, that was before it came out. Now that it's out, I'm going to redo that video, and that should be my next discussion video. Going more into detail, because again, I'm rambling now, and I'm sorry that I do that a lot, but this game should serve as the prime example. If you know what you're doing, say it was Activision will crash because Naughty Dog doesn't hold the rights. So just say that if you don't hold, if you're not an original like how do I describe it? Let's just say Activision. You never owned the rights to Crash before, so you do now. This has to be the prime example of you take what people knew about the old games, rework it to work for the modern time, but keep the familiarity, but do enough different to where it feels like its own entity, which this does. So, or even for the people that still own their original characters, Naughty Dog with Jak and Daxter. If you wanted to make a Jak 4 and not do it all like with the photorealistic looking Jak and Daxter, prime example. Insomniac are your buddies, so you can talk to them about how to do this or something, I don't know. But point being, this reboot is fucking amazing, and this should serve as the prime example of those companies that still hold the rights to those kinds of characters, those platforming icons that aren't doing. Ubisoft with Rayman, if you wanted to make another Rayman game, if you wanted to make Rayman 4, take a look at Ratchet and Clank. Keep the familiarity, but do enough different to where it feels like its own beast. Whether it's a reboot, or it's a sequel of sorts, or whatever the case may be. But those are my first impressions. This game is fucking awesome. I'm going to be playing more. Definitely going to be playing more. I'm done. What are your guys' thoughts on the new Ratchet and Clank? Let me know below, and I'll see you guys later. Take care. This game is awesome. I'm going to go and play some more Ratchet and Clank. See you guys later.